Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna have a full alliance quest run. It's gonna be a bit of a clumsy run, but the main reason why I'm uploading it is because I haven't seen much of Cascading Failure global node, epic modifier or what have you uploaded on YouTube, and in my opinion that's by far the most annoying and tricky modifier to deal with, especially like for instance for me in section 2 I have a very stacked void on counter tactics who gains absolute ton of extra attack, and if I happen to trigger like any buffs against that guy, basically my health disappears within a matter of couple of seconds. I have had a full ghost go from full health to no health in 6 ticks or something like that, so 3 second time. So it's a very savage node and champion combination that can be created at times. And this week we do have unfortunately tech champions penalized because traditionally I kind of try to use Guillotine 2099 or something that just generally doesn't crit too much, and if I do have Suicides active then I obviously also need to take something that's double immune against that void. But it's also times like this when I'm super grateful for having quite extensive roster and for the fact that I'm able to kind of like look around and consider options and possibilities. So certainly we can see that I have chosen to go with Goldpool, Nick Fury and Captain Marvel movie version. Now the reason why I found Captain Marvel movie version to be working perfectly for most part with Cascading Failure is because number one, she has a single hit heavy. Number two, she can shrug off all debuffs when she enters binary. And number three, you can also kind of like stall and deal quite a lot of damage per hit and kind of like play her in a few different ways. And addition, she's obviously a cosmic champion who gets a boost this month. With Nick Fury Goldpool synergy, she doesn't leave herself inherently with any debuffs and she's able to heal. So it seemed like a quite decent good plan coming together there. I'm going to use Nick Fury himself for that void in particular and his shrug off abilities. Even though I have Suicide Masteries active, I will basically just sacrifice the life model decoy and then they get shrugged off. Right, and Goldpool is obviously largely just a synergy piece here. He is much better champion than people give him credit for, but he's not going to perform too great for what I'm going to use him today here. So anyways, I picked Nick Fury for this fight over here, mainly just because I really didn't care too much how much health Nick Fury has left on him, because I knew that the life model decoy is going to get destroyed very early on against void. And yeah, so I basically just kind of like brought him in here because of kind of like why not reasons. No matter how much health I lose in this fight, as long as the life model decoy is not destroyed, I'm pretty much fine. Now at some point here Gwenpool refuses to throw her special attack. I don't want to risk it and throw my special attack because obviously she can survive that or something could go wrong, I don't know. So I just played patiently there. Now here is that void, and this void is an absolute pain in the buttocks. So the node combination here basically is combo party and the one that gives me cruelty buffs for every 10 combo. No, it's a combo, that's the combo party. So it's combo party and counter tactics. So for every hit, he gains a massive attack increase. And as you can see here from my suicide debuffs, basically my health is just absolutely gone. Now here I actually wanted to hit a couple times on purpose. And the reasoning for that is because when I get hit, I actually reset the combo meter and void loses all attack bonus. So I knew that any debuffs that I will receive later on from Cascading Failure or void himself will not deal as much damage if I get hit and lose my combo. So that was the plan there, and it actually worked out extremely solid for this case scenario. And now we can kind of like go back to original Captain Marvel movie version, healing up at the beginning of every fight. If I do happen to have any debuffs active from Cascading Failure, then obviously she shrugs them off when she enters binary, and once she enters binary I do an absolute ton of damage and I don't have too much to worry about. And yeah, so I'm not trying to push my kind of like level 2 aggro like you typically do with Captain Marvel movie version. I'm trying to play it a bit slower, a bit safer, watching those debuffs. And it works quite fine. And now it's gonna be Venom. Venom's again gonna be a relatively simple, easy fight. It's not inherently hard. It's really mainly the Void in that section 2 that you do need to counter. And some variations, I don't know if it's still gonna be a thing or they changed and replaced that. There used to be also a Mephisto, which was also extremely troublesome opponent, but I haven't seen him for a while, so it could be that they have taken him out of this lane in section 2. And in section 3, another reason for Captain Marvel movie version to be kind of like fitting perfectly in this lane node combination setup is a Starburst node. And obviously that Indestructible will help me mitigate the Starburst damage and all that other good stuff. So yeah, I'm actually gonna mess up quite badly in this fight because, well, you know, with IQ you do need to take the fights kind of like in between whatever you are doing during the day. So the first set of fights typically go fine because you do have some time in the evening. Then the next set of fights I try now to do at least half an hour after I wake up. But this one happened to be kind of like whilst I was in the middle of doing something at work. So I certainly didn't pay too much attention, got hit, got punished quite heavily for it, and lost majority of my health. But overall, I'm still not too concerned because, yeah, I have the healing synergy and all that other good stuff. So anyways, nobody wanted to take that Annihilus for a bit, and I figured I'm gonna give it a go because I have Gold Pool, which I technically do not really need, so I wanted to see how much damage I can do with Gold Pool. But this certainly won't be kind of like the smoothest fight. We can see that I have gotten a bunch of debuffs here on me as well, and I do mess up here on that level 1 away. It is quite tricky. Then I get obviously get eat that level 1, and yeah, so I am not doing too fantastic here. I will try to redeem myself. The fight isn't over yet. I do land a special 2, which unfortunately does not crit. Bleed is still, however, doing some damage. But here Annihilus just goes annoyingly defensive, and then he refuses to throw his special 1, which I will ultimately tap his block and push him to level 2. He throws that immediately, surprise, surprise, and then unfortunately I dashed back and went straight to punish at level 2, and I kind of like didn't notice that unstoppable or that stifle buff, or the fact that it's still going to be active, and I get quickly smacked down to death. Now this fight I just bought in Captain Marvel version because I thought that I shouldn't have too much problem dealing with the remainder 30-something% with Captain Marvel movie version. And here I land my level 2 as quickly as I can, and now I do need to be careful because I had 3 debuffs on me, and now I have 2 debuffs. I eat a hit, but then I just quickly drop that level 1 and finish out the fight, because we all know that Captain Marvel movie version has a very amazing burst kind of like damage output when she is in the binary. So that worked out perfectly. Now I do have Black Bolt here while I'm at it, while I do have some few minutes at work. And this is the Starburst lane. So obviously Starburst is and always has been annoying, and typically the best way kind of like to deal with Starburst, that most inclusive, is to use heavy burst champions. For instance, a great example here could be a relatively low ranked Sunspot, right? You drop like level 1, you take few ticks of damage like initially, and then you drop a massive like level 2 to quickly finish off the fight. So the pacing of damage is quite important for these fights. Or obviously you do have options of Gladiator Hulk or Corvus, or in this case Captain Marvel movie version, because she does go indestructible and she ignores the Starburst damage at times as well. Now I'm gonna mess up at the beginning in this fight. I'm actually gonna eat heavy, which is gonna force me in the binary ignition prematurely, and I only get 3 fury buffs, so that's a bit annoying, but it's still plenty to finish out this fight relatively well. You can see that I finally trigger that indestructible, and yeah, level 2 finished out the fight. I actually would have preferred if it didn't finish the fight, but it did. And the next fight, this fight is actually going to be quite embarrassing. it's not really my lane with that terminal velocity, which is effectively kind of like spiked armor lane, just increasing opponents' power gain rate every time you crit. And then they have the Sixth Sense, so I need to keep dropping those heavy attacks, and I'm gonna make a huge boo-boo at some point in this fight, and I'm gonna push Quake to level 3 after my special 2 and a couple of heavy attacks. So that's definitely not gonna be like a perfect fight. Now, ideally, not ideally, but luckily, I will still be indestructible. Like here you can see she gets level 3, use it pretty much immediately. I still had indestructible active, so I will survive that. And I should have been perfectly fine. I should have finished this fight with no problem whatsoever. She can try and hit me, whatever. I have 7 aftershocks on me, but me being the greedy guy that I was, I actually tried to build up some of the binary charges, and I didn't realize the time was about to expire, and I didn't quite finish out the fight in time, and that's how I lost my Captain Marvel. And I will finish out this fight with Nick, and obviously with Suicide Masteries and only 23% health and Cascading Failures, placing Spectre debuffs, that Nick at this point is pretty much unusable. Well, luckily it is also end of the map, so I don't really have to take any fights, so I don't have to use any items. Still would have preferred to kind of like finish with healthier champs, definitely would have preferred for that Captain Mal movie version still to be alive, so I can at least take down this Voodoo, since I didn't really have any great matchup options for Doctor Doom. But overall, considering this is Cascading Failure and that Void fight is quite tricky, I was quite happy with the result of this IQ, I guess. But that'll also do for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!